So parallel parking can be quite difficult, especially on a tight spot. On this video, I'm going to show you how to do it. When you're parking in a tight space like this, it's really important to control your speed. If you go too fast, it's not going to work. And the main thing you want to control, especially on a manual car like this, is the clutch and the brake. Especially like now it's going downhill slightly. If I bring the clutch up too fast or too high, the car will go too fast, which is not going to work for this maneuver. I'm going to control the clutch really well, not bringing it up too high, maybe even keeping it down, because you see when I've got it down, the car still moves backwards because we're on a slight hill. So I don't need to bring up any higher than this. I'm going to look around, make sure it's safe. So once my wing mirror is in line with the sensor of this car that I'm parking next to, I can do a full turn to the left. I'm going to turn all the way to the left as much as I can until the wheel can't turn anymore. And then I'll start going back slowly, keeping a nice slow speed. And then once I get to like roughly around 45 degrees, so my car's diagonal towards that way, I'm going to do another full turn to the right. So a full turn to the right. So this way, hopefully you start bringing it in towards, away from the curb so it doesn't get too close. I'm keeping an eye on this side as well so I don't get too close to that car. And then now my clutch is down. I'm just using my brake to control how fast I go. Keeping an eye on that mirror there as well. I might need to make slight adjustments and then wait for any cars that go past me as well. So now I can see, if I look in that mirror, I'm a bit wide, so I'm going to turn a bit towards the left. This is what you want to do. Keep it really slow and then make adjustments as you go. So if you're finding that you're a bit too wide, stop the car and turn towards where you want it to be. If you're finding that you're too close, you might want to turn a bit more the other way if you can. So once these cars have gone by, I'm going to go back a bit towards the left because I was a bit too wide before. And then now I'm close enough, I can turn away the whole time, controlling my speed, keeping an eye on my surroundings as well, keeping an eye on the back of the car so I don't get too close. And then now I'm getting quite close, so I'm going to stop there, not go any further. Now my wheels are still sticking out towards the right. I don't want to leave them like that. So I'm going to turn them left slightly, but you notice I'm going to get my biting point first, because if I don't, I'm going to roll back towards that car, which I'm quite close to now. So I don't want to do that. So I'm going to get my biting point and then turn a bit towards the left until my wheels are straight, maybe even turn a bit more left so that it goes a bit towards the pavement. And then now I'm there, I can put my clutch down first, brake, handbrake on, and neutral. If the space is really small and really tight and you've misjudged it slightly and you've gone really close to the pavement, you can actually, especially in the dark as well, you can use the pavement as a guide. So I'm going to go back and show you what I mean. So if I go back more like this, and I'm going to go really slowly so that when I touch the pavement, it's not going to be too hard. And also I'm looking out for anything that's near the car as well, like a lamppost or a tree. So now, see, my car's not going back anymore because it's touched the curb now. If I go back any further, if I put more power from the clutch, it's going to go over the curb and onto the pavement, which you don't want to do. So now I'm going to go into first. I don't have much space, so I'm going to do a bit of dry steering. This is not recommended normally, but for parking, sometimes you have to do it. So I'm going to turn all the way left, just to create some space between me and the pavement. Checking around to make sure it's safe. So now I've moved forward a bit, there should be a bit of space between the pavement and the car. And now if I start reversing, now remember my wheels are still facing towards the left. If I start reversing, my car's going to go back towards the pavement, which you don't want right now. We want it to go away from the pavement. So I'm going to turn before I move. Yeah, this is going to maximize the amount of turning I can do, because if I started moving and then turned, the car's really going to go towards the pavement. But now you see, nice and straight, I can straighten up my wheels and stop there. And there might also be times that you've actually messed it up completely. So let me show you an example now. So if I go back too much now like this, and then I'm gonna like try to make an attempt to turn right, it's not gonna work because I'm way too much like this of an angle. You can just start again. Don't be afraid to start again. Just look around, especially if you're too close to the car in front of you as well. Just look around and then start again. So the reason that didn't work was because I turned way too late to the right. So now that I know that, the next time that I do it now, I'm going to turn a bit earlier towards the right. So look around again, make sure it's safe. I'm going to start. The man is waiting on the pavement as well. I'm going to carry on, keeping an eye on him, keeping an eye on the car as well. So remember, last time I turned too late, so now I'm going to turn a bit earlier towards the right. Now I've done it a bit too early now, so I can turn left. You can always make adjustments to this. Yeah, if you notice it early enough, just make adjustments. So if you're too wide, turn left towards the pavement, and then once you get closer, you can turn away again, like that, and stop before you go too close. Then you can put it into first gear, and forward again now. Get it nice and straight, and stop there. So the one that's much harder to correct is if you're too wide, and I'll show you what I mean now. So if I've gone in towards the left, and then I'm gonna turn to the right a little bit too early, but let me wait for this car first. Okay, so if I turn to the right a bit too early, like now, if I do a full lock towards the right, so like now if I'm like that, this is way too wide. What you don't want to do in this situation is what a lot of people struggle with. They'll try to go forward towards the curb now. It's gonna make it worse, and I'll show you what I mean. So if I look around, I'm gonna make sure it's safe, and I go forward now. The back of my car is sticking out loads now. There's not really much I can do from here. If I try to go back again now towards the left, it's not really gonna work, but I'll have to do that anyway just to get out of this situation. So if I go back to where I was before, I'll show you what you should do instead. So if I was too wide like this, instead of going forward and to the left, what you actually need to do is go to the right, yeah, and out. So I'll look around again, and I'm gonna turn right just to create that space again between me and the pavement. And then now, I see I'm at that angle that we want again. I can go into reverse and look around again, make sure it's safe. And then I can reverse back a bit. And once I'm close enough, I can do my turn. Yeah, I might even misjudge it a bit, but it's okay. I can always go forward. You see, I've misjudged it a bit, and I've gone. The front of my car is still sticking out. This is really easy to fix. When your front of your car is sticking out, but the back is close to the pavement, it's super easy to fix. All you need to do is turn left and go forward a bit, yeah? Make sure there's no one close to me going past me. Then I get my clutch to the biting point. So once I put my car straight, I can straighten out my wheels, clutch down and brake. And you notice there when I was steering as well, you don't have to do it like, some people think they need to do the whole, you don't need to do that. You can even put your hand behind this and use your hand, one hand, if you want to. If you feel more comfortable doing it like that, it's totally fine. As long as you have control of the car, as long as your steering takes your car to where you want it to be, it's okay. You don't have to do it really stiff and be awkward. Now, to come out of a tight spot like this, you might want to reverse back a bit first. So get into reverse, but you notice I've got my clutch down and I've got my foot on the brake. This is because the car is on a slight hill downwards. If I release the handbrake now, I'm just going to make sure it's safe first. If I release the handbrake, you see the car starts moving back straight away. So to control that, I've got my foot on the brake so that it doesn't go too fast towards the car that's behind us because it's quite close. So I'll look around again, and then I'm just going to keep my clutch down and use my brake to control my speed. Because if I bring the clutch up now, it's going to go way too fast towards that car. Once I've created a bit of space between me and the car in front, I'll go into first gear, get my biting point now so that I don't roll back into that car behind us. Look around again. I might put in a signal here because I'm in a bit of a busy area. And then notice my clutch control, I'm not bringing it up too fast, just at the biting point, and then down a tiny bit, and then keep looking around, keeping it slow the whole time until I've got my car straight. And once I'm ready to go, I can bring the clutch up and carry on.